Welcome to the Bitching Dead. We are your hosts, Becca, Freed, and Tara. We're webcast minds at the Geekiary. We're here to bitch about stuff and things because somebody has to do it. If you haven't seen, oh my god, if you haven't seen The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, I'm just this is really hard right now. The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, season 1, episodes 2 through 6. Please turn back now or don't. I don't give a crap. We're not responsible for any spoilers you hear. We did warn you.
Mm-hmm. Please remember that this is recorded live, so we aren't exactly sure what's going to happen. Please forgive us for any technical difficulties or accidental or intentional like a swears. You can join the conversation with the hashtag the bitching dead.
All right. We would also like to remind all of you that the views expressed are those of the hosts as individuals and do not necessarily represent the Geekiary or the webcast itself as a whole. We got some news though, right?
We got some news. So of course the biggest interest right now is what are the ratings? What are the ratings for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live? Were they good? Were they bad? And I would say that they were expected, kind of, compared to how the other two spin-offs did. So the premiere of The Ones Who Live ended up getting 0.89 million views, and then it remained steady for the entirety of the 6 episode season. And the finale ended up getting 0.85 million views. And the highest rated episode was episode number 3 with 0.9 million views.
Interesting.
So I'm like these are respectable numbers in a way. However, I really thought that considering that this was like a Rick and Michonne season with Rick coming back after years, I really thought that at least the premiere or the finale would hit the 1 million mark. But it didn't.
Are they, and I guess how do you know how they do the ratings? I know this is like who knows if Fareed knows this, but because this is airing, I think concurrently on TV and also on AMC Plus. So are they counting AMC Plus views?
No, they aren't.
Okay.
It's just Nielsen ratings because those are the ratings that kind of matter.
Yeah.
When it comes to advertisements and stuff.
Yeah.
So those are the ratings that are coming to us.
Okay.
So live views. That's why when I write this up, I always mention that live viewership. So live viewership is like when the show is airing on TV and people are watching it during the original runtime live and not streaming it afterwards.
Right, no, I understand that. The reason I was questioning it was because I know that they, as far as I know, they release it on AMC Plus or whatever it's called, right at the time it airs. So I didn't know if they were somehow counting that. I mean, I understand that they're not for advertisement purposes, but
you know what, Tara? If they were making, if the show was doing huge numbers on streaming, they would release the data.
They'd be like, oh, ignore the numbers behind the curtain. Here's our streaming numbers. But I think I've known one person ever who paid for AMC Plus.
They would release the numbers. They really would.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a headline like, hey, the Rick and Michonne season was the most viewed season on our streaming platform. Not even that.
I mean, I'm not super surprised. Even people who didn't give up on The Walking Dead necessarily early on aren't all that into the spinoffs. And I'm sure they're coming back to watch this, but none of them are most of the people I know who still watch it don't have cable and aren't going to pay for AMC Plus. So they're watching it elsewise.
Right.
And on top of that, that's not that many people. A lot of people just gave up on Walking Dead seasons upon seasons ago and have never had any interest in returning to it or watching any of the spinoffs. So.
Remember when the Rick movies were supposed to come out 2-3 years ago or 4 years ago? That was the proper time for the Rick and Michonne story.
Yeah. Yep.
They took too long. They really took too long. I don't care no more. Like
We-
even yeah, it's
We care because we have to. And I'm putting care in quotes.
we care.
But like, despite all of this, so I had actually talked to my friend who who's the one that I was joking about in our last episode that we workshopped the new
The
spinoff
name.
title. Yeah. And he said he'd never heard anything about there being more than one season of this show. And I was like, I mean, honestly, the only place I've heard it is from you guys or you, Freed. So I guess like I wasn't, and we'll get into that later. But I mean, so you had some notes about how Andrew Lincoln's talking about a reunion with Daryl
So
and
that's
Negan.
that's supposed to be season 2. Like if Rick and Michonne, if the ones who live ever returns for a season 2, they're
Mhm.
gonna use this spin-off as a reunion season. That's what they're gonna do instead of creating an entirely new spin-off, which they might end up doing anyway. They might end up continuing the ones who live spin-off and present it as season number 2.
I mean, I suppose that makes more sense, especially with the title, than like most other things they can do. But also, at that point,
Why?
isn't it just The Walking Dead again?
It's The Walking Dead
Like-
again, right?
Like, surprise! The Walking Dead TV movie, okay? Like something.
It lives. It lives.
The show this maybe not this show, but this universe just never dies.
It's not dying.
Again, we've said it before. We'll say it again. It is The Walking Dead.
Because Andrew was like, hey, it is very interesting because he was like, so Negan's redemption, Rick didn't get to see that, really. He's like, so it will be very like interesting if they do cross paths again, Negan and Rick. Like what you still doing alive or whatnot and all of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Like I'll talk about it with you guys at the culmination of the thing.
Right. But it's like in a way, they do need to do a reunion episode. There's no way they can't do it. They need to do a reunion episode.
Yeah, particularly as they brought certain character back. Like it's not even like this one has been this season of this show, The Ones Who Live, was entirely devoid of anybody but Rick and Michonne and the new characters. So
well, there was one sneak in there.
Yeah.
There was one sneak in there. We'll get to it. He showed up.
Well, and plus Jadis. But that, I mean, that's obvious. She was also on World Beyond, so it's like no surprises there.
Oh, did you see the preview for The Walking Dead Double D, Book of Carol? And I'm like, Carol doesn't have double D's, but okay.
Yes, I did see it. I mean, it was just it was weird because it's like it's being called the Book of Carol, but the little preview thing was like, here's a little scene with Daryl, and then we're going
and
to
the
Carol, kid. Like, oh yes, of course,
Messiah Messiah kid, and we're going to Carol looking for Daryl again. So it's not really Carol's show. So what's happening here? Like,
I get, yeah. I mean, shouldn't it be called the Book of Carol and Daryl at that point? It's somehow not a worse, it's not the worst name they've ever come up with, Dead City. Christ.
It's like also, the Walking Dead.
Follows my
It does. It's like The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, Book of Carol. So what's Daryl Dixon doing in there? If you want to add Daryl's name, just write Daryl and Carol. That's it.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead, DC. That's it.
Yeah, because like that's the thing. Like I don't remember. Like I think Daryl and Carol's ship name was literally just like Daryl, but spelled Carol. Like it was like DAROL. Maybe am I right about that, Becca?
Yeah, it was CARYL. Yeah, you know it should be called the Book of Carol and Daryl duology.
There you go. Or maybe just the duology of.
Ooh,
Anyway.
also another piece. So Scott Gimple, he was asked that when talking about the original movies that Rick was gonna get, was the story in the movies the same as what we saw in the 6 episode TV show? And he was like, kind of. But he was like, so Michonne would have been introduced in the second movie. So the first movie would have been like
Rick's
Rick,
story.
what Rick's going through, and then Michonne would be introduced in the second story. But he was like, yeah, what you guys ended up seeing in the 6 episode season, that's what the movie was gonna be about, and that's why exactly we were like, you know what, this entire thing could have been one single movie. You can tell.
Yep. Well, also they definitely that first episode that we already talked about in our last episode, that did not need to be an entire. That would not need to be an entire movie. It barely fit. Like it barely needed an entire episode to itself. Honestly.
Right. But yeah, that was the news. That's it. So right now they're just gonna be promoting the Carol show, because that's gonna come out sometime this year. No specific release date, but sometime this year.
For Book of Carol, you mean?
Yeah, for the Book of Carol.
I thought they said this summer.
Yeah, it's like, but no specific date, right?
Oh, I see. But I mean,
Mhm.
so that means like between mid-June and mid-September. I would guess it's gonna, because the Daryl show was out in like June, July, or August last year, from what I remember. Like it covered the summer, so I'm assuming it'll be about the same time frame. Maybe not exact, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll wait till September to premiere it.
I don't think so, because again, after Carol, it's gonna be Maggie and Megan, and yeah. So it's interesting now that the views aren't that great. They really aren't working on more spin-offs. This is it for now.
I mean, thank God.
This is it. Okay. Episode number 2, Gone.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't have any favorite moments, but weirdly enough, despite saying that, I think overall this was one of the better episodes out of the 6. Minus the lengthy like post being gassed stuff.
No.
That was too much.
The montage of it all, like I'm like, no.
Like you should have just showed the seasons passing montage. I didn't need to see like
Michonne trying to do push-ups. Yeah.
I mean, listen, like I will watch Denai Guerrero doing push-ups.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna do. What they should have done. Remember Twilight, where Bella is sitting in the chair and the seasons pass outside her window? So Michonne, because I want to see Denai do push-ups, right? So Denai should have been doing push-ups. Yeah. And outside the window, the seasons should have been.
There you go.
That's what you do.
I honestly didn't even realize it had been a year. Like, I was just watching it and I was like, okay. Like, I had no idea it had been a year. But also I struggled with the timelines.
I know she said like to Rick later that like she lost a year.
She lost a year.
Was it a whole year that they were recovering? Because I thought it was like it happened, I don't in the fall maybe, and then like I didn't think the recovery was an entire year. I thought like her meeting up with Nat to her and Nat.
That was an entire year. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got. That entire thing was the entire year.
But also that gas stuff, like I get that they're not wanting to like just bomb places randomly, but that is some mean ass shit. Like I don't care what your end game is, BRM. Fuck you.
Like why you do that? And also the gas mask. When I tell you the PTSD I got to Fear the Walking Dead and Madison. When Michonne took out the gas mask, I was like, no.
No, not another show where you have to watch her constantly having to be sucking on one of these oxygen masks.
I was like, no.
And also, oh god, we're getting into like worse things or bad things, but like the idea of just them finding a whole bunch of oxygen tanks to be able to make themselves better is just beyond.
Yeah, they got into Madison's stash, didn't you know?
Yeah.
They got
was
into her stash. That was Madison's stash.
Oh Christ.
But yeah, I like the scream arrow stick weapon thingy. Like you shoot the arrow and it
Yeah,
like
that was cool.
screams through the air to distract walkers. I'm like, that's good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
you
and that
sh-
was
yeah.
smart, man.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't annoyed by that. I'm like,
No.
that's a new good character. I want him to stick around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't.
Yeah. We'll
Look,
get into that.
look, I liked Nat a lot. The
Mhm.
acting choices were kind of busy.
Mm.
So, but I also critique the acting a lot, but I liked Nat a lot. Like I liked him a whole lot. And anyway,
It felt as if like the writers didn't know what to do with him anymore, right?
yeah,
They were like,
they're like,
now
oh,
what?
they're like, here's the wizard to give you a wizard's quest. Like that's really how it felt.
Right? Like now what? Now he's gone. Okay, now figure it out yourself. I'm like, okay.
Like so I guess moving on into like the worst moments. Like I have not, like I wrote this down, but like his death caused me to gasp out loud. Like I have not gasped out loud in a character death in The Walking Dead in a very long time. Like I have not been truly shocked by a death in The Walking Dead, but this one I was shocked by. Like I was so startled that I scared my dog. Like I was like, and then, but yeah, I was actually really surprised, and I was actually really upset. Like I was like,
Oh, I was
man.
too. That's like similar. My worst moment is very similar because like I also thought it was a dumb way for him to die. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like
Right? He just died.
yeah, he just got shot after all of that.
Right?
I just what? Like what? That's lame way. Like dumb for him to die, period. Like Michonne could have been like, go, because he's like nobody knows he's there, so he probably could have escaped.
Michonne could have been like, yeah, all I needed was Michonne forcing him to run away and go to Alexandria. That's it. Just go there. We don't know if he made it there. I don't care. I just want him alive off screen somewhere.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Dumb for him to die, period, but also dumb way for him to die. And like I say in my worst moments, like notes, like I'm not sure if I hate that or the shit with Jadis at the end of this episode more, but it's probably this because I have more just continuous complaints about Jadis throughout this entire series. So I'm gonna go with I hate that Nat died, and I hate that he died like just. And yeah, I agree, Becca. It was just.
It just happened.
It was
like,
shocking in that, like, he's alive. He could be the one who gets away, and then no, we're just gonna kill him. It's fine.
That's it. Yeah, he taught Michonne how to rig bombs, I guess, and that's it. You can go now.
He's a
delete. Press delete. Delete. You're done.
Control Alt Delete.
And it bugs me too that like yet again we have another diverse character who gets killed as a plot point.
Like diverse in several ways too. Like not just that he's a small person, but like he's like he had his issues in childhood. He has this whole like a lovely story about his stepdad and everything, and it's like yep. And I think that might be like probably a good 30% of my frustration with the fact that he died too.
Right.
Like
that
would have been a good character to bring back.
It
or to just like at least we know we don't know that he's dead, right? But
he's just out there.
When we get to the end of the series, I would love for him to be in Alexandria.
Just out there in the background.
The Sierra or the Commonwealth, wherever the fuck they're living right now.
One of the things that made me laugh out loud was when they shot down the helicopter and Michonne was like, "Stay low," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he just stood
Terrible.
there. I think it was like a joke. It was a deliberate
Yes.
joke because he
Yeah.
didn't bend or nothing. He didn't like crouch. He just stood there as if, duh.
Like looks at her like, really?
Right?
I didn't even catch that. I was like, yeah, stay low, like crouch down. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, he just
So-
stood there. He's like, what?
It's just he was an interesting character with an interesting backstory, and that gave a little bit more diversity to this universe. And fucking Messiah Kid and Daryl Dixon show gets to stay alive, but
Right?
poor Nat.
Far better than that couple they tried to make us care about.
Well, yeah, I'll get into that when we go into
Right?
like our general stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
But yeah, that was
honestly,
it. Like in the end, I was. Mm-hmm.
I don't not like that couple, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying I like Nat a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, they could have also been good too, except for the fact that they were again just like they're gonna die to make Michonne to further Michonne and Nat. They were fridged, honestly. They should have
Right.
just fucking left and gone to Alexandria. And Michonne was like, "Go to Alexandria." Or the Commonwealth, or where the fuck, go somewhere that's not traveling the road with me to this place that is dangerous, and I'm telling you it's dangerous, and you're pregnant, girl. Go.
And it's like when you're in a zombie apocalypse and someone who literally exudes main character energy and they tell you to leave, you leave
Yeah.
because you are not surviving. You're not the main character here.
Oh, I love this.
Like if I'm in the zombie apocalypse, someone like Denai comes out with a katana and all of that stuff, and she's like, "Fareed, you need to leave. You need to go. I've got this safe space." I'm like, "You don't have to tell me twice. I'm gone. I'm done. Bye. Good luck on your mission or whatever." But
yeah, you do not need my help. Fucking
you do
clearly.
not. Right?
Like we needed your help, and you are
I'm a
helping us by
liability.
telling us to go.
Right. I am a liability at this point, so I'm gone.
Me too. If I'm still alive, this far into the zombie apocalypse, I will be shocked. I tell you, shocked. I know for a fact I will not be. They will throw my fat ass to the walkers and they will run.
A la Shane with what's his name back in season 2.
Exactly.
Like main character energy, I'm staying away. A group of kids, I'm staying away because the kids are gonna die. I'm gonna be the one who's gonna die. The kids are gonna survive. So bye kids, I am done. See?
Yeah. Well, except Messiah Kid.
Oh, I would kill him personally. I would be like, he's immune? Attack. He's not immune to that. I thought you said he was immune.
You said it was immune. Oh, not to death. My bad.
He ain't gonna rise in 3 days. He ain't that kind of Messiah. Happy belated Easter, everybody.
He'll rise in under 24 hours. He'll rise in 24 hours, though. If you play it right.
Actually, I don't think he will though. That actually, so if somebody, this is getting so fucking off topic, but if that child died in a way that did not involve a shot or knife or whatever the fuck to the head, if he like, shot in the gut or the heart or whatever,
that's what I'll do, right? I wouldn't do a headshot. I'll just kill him. I'll just stab his heart. And then he'll rise, and I'm like, Daryl, he's risen.
No, he wouldn't though. That's the point. I don't think he's infected. Anyway, we are so fucking off topic. This is an entirely different show that we're bitching about now. What about for episode 2? Other gripes and what the fuck moments?
Oh, yeah, it's just like episode 1 and episode 2 should have been a 2-episode premiere. Mm-hmm. I have no idea why they separated it. Yeah.
Even if they needed to make them like, even if it needed to be long, like an hour and a half,
Mm-hmm,
or
mm-hmm. Yeah, make it
even if it
long.
was
Yeah,
2 full
yeah.
episodes, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it should have all aired in one night. It
Mm-hmm.
was, I mean, they're just trying to drag out their viewership, whatever. So yeah, no, I totally agree. Also, because I actually rewatched episode 2 today, including the like previously on, and it shows one very brief thing from Michonne, like before, like it's not all Rick from episode 1, right? It shows some other stuff very briefly, but it does not show a flashback to the Walking Dead episode. It was season 10, episode
10, episode
13,
13. Yeah.
which aired in March 2020. Y'all, that was
Ugh.
close to 4 years prior to this episode, and it did not show a flashback to Michonne encountering that couple, same actors and everything, that she brings home, for lack of a better word, at the very beginning of this episode. Who the fuck would remember Michonne encountering them and seeing their caravan from kind of afar, from like the 2 minutes at the end of that episode from nearly 4
I
years
remember.
ago?
Yeah.
Why was that not in the previously on? Because I for anybody who's actually watching this, I randomly rewatch Walking Dead whenever I feel like it, and usually I stick to the first like 4 or 5. Usually I stick to the first like 4 seasons, maybe 4.5, and I give up when Beth dies. I possibly get to the end of 5 or like halfway. I never get to the Negan stuff because I hate the Negan stuff so much. But this time I got through like I think season 6 or half of season 6, and then I skipped forward to like the end of the Negan storyline, essentially like the second half of season 7 or season 8, whenever they finally like get into the fight with him and actually like get rid of him. And so then I just kept watching, and I watch this while I'm doing I watch it while I'm working because I don't need to pay attention to it. And I was watching it, and I got to the episode where Michonne goes to that island with that guy, and I skipped through like the entire episode. I skipped the entire episode until the end because I was like, maybe there's something important at the end. Like seriously, skipped through that entire episode because I didn't care about Michonne having flashbacks or whatever they were, where she was like seeing how things might have been if things had been different.
I remember.
Didn't care. And I skipped to the end of the episode, like the last 5 minutes, and I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Because like when we walked into this episode, I was like, who are these people? Where did this come from? Oh, guess what? It was actually in this episode, the very end of this episode, 4 fucking years ago. It made me so mad because, and I messaged you guys and I was like, Becca, you might as well watch the last like 5 minutes of this episode if you haven't caught up with The Ones Who Live yet, because at least you'll have more of idea of what the fuck is going on than I did when I watched this.
Anyway,
And again,
to your point, like who the heck remembers them? No one.
Like a 2 to 3 minute scene from the end of an episode 4 fucking years ago. And also like kind of right as COVID was starting too. So like there's like a 2 years of my life that I've just blanked out of existence. And even if I hadn't done that, I don't fucking remember a show that I watched once 4 years ago. I'm so annoyed about this. Like probably like more annoyed than I should be, but whatever. Anyway, episode 3, right? Unless anybody else, Becca, did you have anything else to say other than you agree about the?
Yeah.
No, I got nothing. Sorry.
All right. Episode 3 was called Bye. I did like, I will say this, I did like how the titles of the first 3 episodes kind of reflected the very first, I think it was the very first episode of Walking Dead ever. It was called Days Gone By.
So this is years gone by.
Yeah. I did. That was clever. The rest of the episodes in this season, I was like, why are you named this? I don't care. But anyway,
the rest of the episodes are named What We Become the Last Time. So it's like this is our final form, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, again, trying to be artsy. Don't.
I liked Years Gone By, but the rest of it's
Mhm.
like, now you're trying too hard.
Right. You should have stopped.
You should have stopped. Yeah, you should have stopped there. Like you were clever, and now you're trying too hard.
Right.
So favorite moments.
Uh,
Anybody?
no, no.
I'm gonna be honest.
Like,
I don't remember a single thing about this episode.
That's I rewatched it because I didn't remember.
yeah, to your point, Tara, again, I was like, am I watching a comedy? Like, did The Walking Dead turn into a comedy? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, random hilarity is all I've got for favorite moments. Jadis's terrible wig was hilarious. Even worse, I think, than when Carol first appeared with long hair in the later seasons of TW.
Carol's wig.
And then Michonne pulling Rick out of a fucking helicopter in the middle of a huge storm. Also hilarious because, of course, we know they're going to survive at the very least to the next episode because there are 3 more episodes after this. And just like, what? How?
Right? No scratches, no bruises,
Nothing.
No broken bones, no nothing. And
we see that in the next episode, the beginning of the next episode, but it's like, just gonna pull some, and we see them fall into water. Whatever. We'll talk about that with episode 4 more, I think. But yeah, just pulling him out of it. Okay, so it's either you're going with me back to our children, or I'm gonna fucking How does she know what's below them, or even how far they are above the ground? You can't see shit out of those windows. This is stupid. But it's like, it's so stupid. It's hilarious. Maybe not as hilarious as Jadis's terrible wig, though. It's like, although I'd rather see that terrible wig than Jadis's terrible haircut.
Oh.
Okay, first of all, shut your mouth. That haircut is a revolution. A fashion revolution. It's the fashion haircut. All icky people everywhere. All icky people have this haircut. It's very turf-esque. Not calling Jadis a turf, but it gives me turf. I'm very the whole thing. Like, I don't have any part of this episode that I particularly liked. I just was watching these because I had to. Okay. I was very confused by all the time skipping around because I was like, if you look away for half a second, you fucking lose everything. And I needed someone to sit down and write out an exact timeline of when every single thing happens, because otherwise, I don't remember it all. Also, Jadis / Anne, I don't even remember what her real name is, but she's so icky. She gives me the ick. Everything about her is icky. Okay, that's all I have to say.
So are we just into worse things now?
I guess
think we are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What about you?
I really didn't write nothing. I only got one gripe though. That's it.
Well, you're oh, so you didn't write anything for worst either. Okay, so mine is that Christ. Jadis is such a fucking plot device made to drag this shit out. Yes, she was the one who brought Rick in to the CRM, but she doesn't need to be all, I'm gonna hunt you and everyone you know down and murder everyone. Like, she does not need to be that way. These shows, The Walking Dead, World Beyond, and now this one, need to stop trying to make Jadis happen. Like, that's my worst moment. It's not even a moment. It's just me agreeing with Becca. Everything about this is
she's not a compelling villain. It's like she showed up in different spin-offs, and I'm like, I still don't care, Jadis, because what you're doing, it makes no sense. You don't have to do that.
But hear me out, okay? Jadis is not a villain, though. Hear me out, okay? Jadis is not a villain. She's just an icky bitch with a haircut.
She's a Karen.
She's no. She's like the opposite of a Karen. Okay, but like
she's a JK.
She's a JK. Exactly. She's a JK. She's JK Rowling. That's what we're gonna call her.
Wow.
She's just an icky. No, not really. It doesn't.
That doesn't work either.
We're gonna call every woman who gives me the ick a Jadis now. and she has a weird ass haircut, and she sits naked wearing an apron making sculptures out of trash, and she just really really wants to bone Rick Grimes. She's got a boner for Rick Grimes, and
Yeah,
she's
she really
weird.
does.
She's everything she says is so like mysterious, and they're trying to make her
Mhm.
sound mysterious, but it's not really mysterious. It's literally like, we don't know how to write words because the writer's strike happened, so beep boop, we're just gonna press buttons on the keyboard. Like, that's truly what it
Oh my
felt like
god,
to me.
AI wrote Jadis.
No, chat GPT wrote
Yeah,
Jadis's lines,
exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
AI.
you. And also an AI stylist designed her haircut. They just put a 3D printer on her head, and it just
And
cut
the
her
fact
hair.
that Jadis actually has the words AI in it.
Just remove the D.
Oh, Jane, Jay,
JADIS. Just remove the D. It has AI in it.
You're so funny.
Oh my
I
god.
get
That's
it now.
terrible.
But yeah, no, she's just a character that's around to give you the ick, kind of like what's his name? Oh,
Who?
I don't
His
remember what
name?
his name is.
From what show? From this show? From
No, from The Walking Dead, but he was the guy with the grilled cheese face.
Oh, Dwight.
Dwight?
The actor's name is yes, Dwight, who was icky, gross, but then he became a good guy. But only Jadis is not a good guy. She's just a dumb bitch with a bad haircut. But Jadis is not meant to be a villain. Jadis is just around to give us something to make us uncomfortable, I think, personally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like I said, I think she's just a plot device. Her whole character is just a plot device. Anyway, so other gripes and what the fuck moments.
I'm like, Rick thinking that Michonne would leave him. I'm like, dude, what? The way that they ended up like planning this entire Michonne escape, and then he ended up leaving her.
Oh no, we have a frozen Fareed. Have we lost Fareed?
Do they have internet in Canada for Reed?
Jesus Christ.
He'll come back.
We
in
have
a
lost
second.
Fareed. He will come back.
He will return in Memento.
Well, while we're waiting for him, other your other gripes, did you already say yours? Did you already kind of get into yours?
What are we talking about? Which episode?
Like episode 4? No, 3 still. 3.
Oh.
I think you said I know you already talked about like Jadis being so icky, and you mentioned being confused about the time skips maybe.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yay! Okay, so
Yeah.
Fareed, sorry, what were you saying? We lost you like right at the beginning of what you were saying.
So basically, I was like, the fact that Rick thought that Michonne would leave without him, and the way he decided to leave her a letter and be like, go back to the kids and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Rick, really? Really? The back and forth that the two ended up having was like, you're just padding out the episode at this point. This doesn't need to happen. Like, do we really need this entire thing for an entire episode? This could be like 20 minutes. That's it.
Wait, are we talking about? Are we on to episode 4 now?
No, we're still talking about episode 3.
Okay, because I was talking.
3,
there's a lot of padding of this, and also in episode 4,
4 and 5, really, but mostly 4. But Becky, you said you were confused about the time skips at some point.
Well, like that's what I was saying. Like, I just need someone to like write it all down for me so I can like read it and be like, yes. But like, I guess like it did eventually make sense. But same thing with what Fareed was kind of saying. Like, I just needed it to have my memory jogged a little bit. But it was very much like Rick was like, I'm staying because I got nothing left but Coral. and Coral's gone now, and I just have my fantasy Michonne, and now she's gone now. And I was like, what the fuck is your deal, dude? Like, the Rick I know, that everybody knows, would have been like, oh, Michonne's here, my kids are still around. That's fucking cool, guys.
Well, at
Let's
this point, he
go.
only knows about one of the kids, but
Yeah, but whenever she's
But
like,
still,
by the
yeah.
way, there's a
Yeah.
second child. He's like, cool
Yeah,
story,
yeah.
bro. Like,
That's
that
next
was so
episode,
fucking
though.
stupid. Dude, he would have been so excited. He would have been like, oh my god, I got a second Carl. Like, anyway, but like, this is not the Rick we know. And I feel like it's really stupid because they're all like, I just think that Rick's really conflicted. No, Rick has no personality other than stupid, impulsive man. Sorry, not sorry. That is the Rick that we know and love. And stop trying to make him complicated and emotional. No, don't do that.
So I will say that things that like annoyed me about this episode, the guy who draws things on cell phones and like other screens just immediately knows Michonne is Michonne from like this outline he drew of her that doesn't even have dreads or anything.
It didn't even look like her. I'm like, you're such a bad artist.
And a baby, like babies. I will not say babies all look alike. That is not the case. But like a generic baby is what he drew, and a woman, a generic woman.
But
like,
first of all, I will say that all Black women with dreads obviously look alike. I'm kidding. Okay, do not come for me, please. I am.
Yeah,
joking.
the guy was like, oh, Black woman with dread. Oh, that's her, right? It's. I'm like, dude, no.
I recognize the look on your face that just looks just like the one in Rick's eyes when he was describing you.
And he's like, and when later, I know it's not. I don't know if it's this episode. I think it's the next one. But when he is like, when Rick is upset about like, they took Carl from me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, Carl is literally a generic white boy. Like, they definitely could have added him into this fucking picture.
You're right.
Like, generic baby, understandable. Generic white kid, understandable. Michonne, that's not Michonne.
Right? That's not
anyway.
her.
But just like the guy had like just immediately knowing who she is somehow. And then like even if the CRM agents, as Jadis mentioned very briefly at the beginning of this episode, supposedly can't operate within the city, that like can't be good or safe that this guy's like, oh, you're Rick's wife, Michonne. Like, like I just totally know who you are. What?
And he's still alive?
Oh my god. I also I maybe missed this in or forgot about it from The World Beyond or the first 2 episodes of The Ones Who Live. But oh goody, another walker name. They call them Delts. And I also have a question about this. If A's are like people who are leaders and B's are people who can be workers without like, you know, tossing the salad here, and D's are Delts, aka the walkers.
Hold on. Did you just say tossing a salad?
Yes, I was being facetious.
You know what tossing a salad means?
Yes, right? I do.
And it did do that.
But
wait, who tossed the salad?
The B's, the workers, are the ones who would not. They're just like averagers. I
need to send a message to the. Hold on.
Anyway, but D's are Delts, which are walkers. What are C's? Who are C's? Are they children?
Probably children.
Charlie.
There's a whole fucking video about it later about children, but we don't hear them called C's. And also I don't unless I missed that too. Whatever. Delts.
Also, so this reminds me of how when Michonne shot down a helicopter, Rick made it a point to tell her not to call them walkers.
I mean, yeah, that's understandable. But like, and also just going back to what you said about, did we really need like an entire episode about this? No, we did not. And
we did not.
This is the first time I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it several times throughout this webcast. No, this series could have been a 2-ish hour made for TV movie. The entire series could have been that. Like really,
Mhm.
if it weren't for the padding and the Jadis plot device, etc. So I think on that note, we can move on to
Becca, we know.
Yes, I know.
We know.
But why would you say that?
I was just being silly.
Sorry, I literally only heard betas. I mean, sorry, not betas. Wow,
No
bees.
Omega worse. Come on in.
No,
Yeah.
no, Reed, no, don't you wiggle those shoulders like that. No, all I heard was bees are the ones who will not toss a salad, and I'm sitting here thinking, does Tara know what tossing a salad is?
I do. That wasn't the reference I was trying to make either, but I do know what the slang term is.
I'm
I
sorry
said that
to my
immediately. I
parents
said
and to my grandparents who are watching this.
They
They're not
will
watching
not.
this. Nobody watches this.
Oh, people do. We get views on these. I don't know who, but
Yeah, it's after. It's just Scott Gimple watching it again and
20
again.
times so he can be like Jeff Davis and talk shit about Fareed.
right, with a little gaggle of.
Oh my god. Okay. Episode 4 is also the title of this episode. What we really. This is not. That's not
Right?
even.
It's
Those
like-
aren't words that go together with no like
Right?
nothing before.
It's like you're trying too hard. After the 3 episodes, you guys are trying too hard now. What we
Yep.
right? What?
Well, this whole episode was what we what?
Right? What?
Go on. What are your favorite moments?
When it ended.
So my favorite moment was like I actually like the drama of it all, like and the chemistry between Rick and Michonne. I'm like, okay, come true fanfic. That's what's happening here. And the fact that it wasn't like my favorite moment, but it made me laugh that we have an entire building crumbling, but the building was considerate enough not to crumble while Michonne and Rick were tossing salads, right? So he's like, I'm gonna give you some time.
Reed, shut the fuck up.
This is why they're A's. This is why they're A's. This is why they're A's. This is why,
A stands for
this is why they're
assholes.
A's. Oh my god. Oh shit. I mean, I like how you're anthropomorphizing the building.
Yeah.
Right? He was like, the building was like, you know what? I can hold up on my deck. You guys do what you want to do, and then afterwards I'll crumble. How'd that sound? I'm like, okay,
So Becca, I
wow.
want to get to yours after I say something because I have a thought that ties into one of your favorite moments. But first of all, this is not a favorite moment. This is just me noticing that there were consulting producers listed in the like beginning credits, and it said consulting producers Bert and Bertie. Who are Bert and Bertie?
I don't know.
What are consulting producers? I didn't Google it. I didn't have time, but it's like in the credits at the beginning of the episode, it's a consulting producers Bert and Bertie, Bertie. So I was like, lol, what? Really though.
You know what, Tara? When I read you write that, I didn't read it as Bert and Bertie. I thought you meant Bert and Ernie. And I was like, that's what they were trying to do with Michonne and Rick, like Bert and Ernie thing.
They're also A's.
Right? Doing the Bert and Ernie thing with them clashing and everything, but also loving each other. I'm like,
No.
So it's like, oh.
That's not what that is a weirdly clever reference, but no.
I looked up what consulting producer means. Okay, so as the title suggests, a consulting producer lends their expertise to a production, bringing valuable experience to the table. And television consulting producers may have previously served as co-producers or executives and now support TV producers and writers based on their historical roles.
Oh my. Okay, so you know what their actual names are?
No.
So Bert and Bertie are 2 women. And the first one is named Amber Templemore Finlayson, and then the other one is Katie Elwood. They're both British, but they go with the by the name Bert and Bertie for some reason.
Cute and gay. I
Right.
love it.
Yeah. Really though, I did like how City Girl
They worked on
Michonne-
Hawkeye.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I mean, I would like to know what sort of consultation services they provided for this episode or this show. I didn't see if it was on other episodes, but
Howdy da salad.
What's up, Fareed?
okay. Back to actual, I don't know, favorite moments. This is
They
like,
actually did a film called Antonio's Breakfast. Salad.
Please no.
can't just pack
It's not.
salad onto the end of everything.
Right?
This isn't a fortune cookie.
I'm going to take Fareed's limbs and snap them.
Okay.
Right in
Really,
front
though.
of my salad.
Really, right in front of my salad. Yes, right in front of your salad. Your tossed
I'm
salad.
never gonna get to say the next words that I wanted to say. Okay, really though, I did like how City Girl Michonne is super like whatever about the Roomba and the apartment announcing the temperature stuff, while Country Boy Rick is like, what is going on?
Right?
He's so mad about the temperature thing. To be honest, it was annoying me too. But also, side note, Michonne saying the Roomba is why it's so spotless in there. What? Like whoever wrote this line has never owned a Roomba.
No.
Like
No.
even if that Roomba was just cleaning up dust, which is what it's doing at this point, it still would not be spotless in there because of the Roomba. Like I just no. Anyway, so Becca, the poor little Roomba though.
Yeah, the little Roomba is just doing its best in vibing.
Not
I
anymore.
love. Shut up. Leave tossed salad Bert and Ernie out of this. That's the full name.
That was the consulting they did. They were the
Yeah.
they were the
Roomba consultants.
Okay, so but yeah, the poor little Roomba. But I love a good reconciliation where he was like, "You're right, I'm being stupid, man." And she's like, no shit, Sherlock."
Yeah,
But-
I mean, I'm kind of on the same level as that. I did like their fights where they're arguing with each other and also fighting the walkers. It's like Rick at one point says, "I got this," and Michonne was like, "Really?" As if
Yeah.
I needed you to get this.
And she calls him Commando. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah,
Oh, Commando.
And then that's followed by a kind of awkward but also sort of adorable makeup sex scene. While not like making all of the boring shit worthwhile, like that stuff was a plus. Like them fighting the walkers together and just the kind of like snarky back and forth, particularly from Michonne. Like Rick is trying so hard and she's like, whatever, dude, I don't need your shit. And then awkward makeup sex. Awkward but adorable makeup sex. Worst moments.
not really worst moments, but I guess
Right?
kind of like, well, it's not really worst. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
loop it in with my gripes and
Mhm.
WTF moment.
All right, I'm not gonna wrap this in anything because oh my fucking god, just like stop talking. Just stop talking. Back and forth and back. It's like I've been a Richonne fan for a long time, like long before they actually hooked up. But no amount of chemistry or love for these characters or their chemistry could make me feel anything other than sheer boredom for the vast majority of this episode. And Dean, who hasn't watched like every Walking Dead universe thing, but he's watched most of it. He watched all of The Walking Dead, Dead City, and the Daryl Show, and this one. So he's just missed Fear. I think he watched the first season of Fear, but he missed most of Fear, and he didn't watch World Beyond.
Mhm.
But he was like, "This is the most boring episode of the franchise ever." I was like, I don't. You like I would have to like really think about it because there were a lot of fucking boring episodes back in the day, but you might not be wrong here. Like it was just stop talking. And again, the back and forth, the concept, like, do you love me? Do you not love me? Are we going together? Are we not going together? Just fucking the rest of my stuff belongs in other gripes. So
Because again, you know that they aren't gonna break up, right?
Yeah.
You already know that. So
Again, whatever. I'll get into this. So, Freed,
Gr-
other gripes and what the fucks?
I was just
No, you froze again. All right, Becca, let's move to you. Other gripes and what the fucks?
Okay, sorry, I accidentally hit the stop cam instead of the mute button. So the fancy convenient apartment, not really so much a gripe as it is like a, okay, what is that doing there?
Yeah.
A second helicopter has hit the towers. Um,
No,
the
that
second,
was their helicopter, but
no, I know that, but have you've heard the news broadcast, right? Whenever 9/11 happened.
oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to make a funny joke about something absolutely
Okay.
horrible and terrific that happened.
Okay, I got you.
Horrible and terrifying. Sorry, not terrific. Terrifying that happened in our history. Rick, I have it here. Rick is so fucking annoying. I actually fell asleep during this episode. Not very long, but like I nodded off. I nodded off during this episode. Lick, and then I have Rick. Rick is literally the worst. Put him in his place, Michonne. And then I have Goop Body question mark. So let me explain for the Goop Body question mark. So these bodies, they are like, whenever they come across a dead body, they're almost always like mummified in some way.
mhm.
And I don't understand how they're mummified because I have seen, this is going to be really gross, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I have seen bodies in very advanced stages of decomposition, and they do not look like that.
Mhm.
They are not dry. They are literally drippy, goopy messes. So why no goop? Why are these?
So I agree with you
Is it
to an
because they're
extent.
hermetically sealed in these buildings?
No, I agree with you to an extent. In this case, I think it's a mix of like, yes, you're right, and there is some technicalities here. The body was electrified,
Oh,
so all the
is
all
it
the all of it that was burned, like like burned tissue is not it's not really like organic matter anymore, so it wouldn't be attacked by like the usual like microorganisms that would decay a body. I agree with you. This body still would have been more decayed than it was. I think it depends on we don't know like what currents were running through him or how much of the body was actually like burned like that. But so I think it's a mix of both. I think you absolutely aren't wrong. I know you absolutely aren't wrong, but also I think that there's some, because they do that a lot of the time, where bodies should be way fucking more, bodies that aren't walkers should be way more fucking
Mhm.
decayed than they are.
And they're very much like almost like a mummified preservation.
A
It's like the
little bit,
skin is
yeah.
almost like a paper mache type thing whenever you see it. But like a lot of these bodies would just be like a,
Mhm.
I'm sorry for anybody who's eaten recently. Like me, actually I've eaten recently, but it would be genuinely it would be almost like a melted, it would be a melted the flesh, and it would become like this viscera, gross goo. Anyway, I did not know they had been electrocuted. I thought they'd hung themselves. So
Yeah, no, they electrocuted themselves. But yeah, I mean, but still, like, you're not wrong. Like, what current was used that would kill the person? But and how much of the, yeah, it's
yeah.
there's still a lot of meh.
But yeah, so that was my,
I'll DM Bert and Bernie. I guess Bertie and Bertie, Berta and Berta, whatever their names.
maybe
were you
that's
guys the ones responsible? This is me typing, by the way. Were you guys the ones responsible for the burning bodies? Were you the ones that they talked about that? They may
so.
have been the demolitions producers, like, because have they ever like really brought down a building like that in The Walking Dead?
I don't know,
No,
actually.
I don't think so. That the building is like coming down and you have to run. No,
They could
no,
have
I
been
don't think so.
demolitions producers.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter though. I just okay, Tara, have you yours now?
I'm just gonna repeat that this series could have been a 2-ish hour made for TV movie. That said, as expected, we're supposed to believe that they could survive that fall from a helicopter, no matter how low it was flying, into rough or possibly moving water. And the next we know, hands on rocks. And nothing else. Like, we don't see how they actually got out of the water. We don't see where they went after that, but hands on rocks. And then they're just entering a building, and that building has all the conveniences they could want or need and more. And also, their helicopter crashed and was then exploded. So now they're free. How convenient. And yet still, Rick is like, no, we have to go back. We have to. It's like, what the fuck are you not seeing this? And listen, Michonne, I get that you're pissed, but also I gotta say, a gripe of mine is Michonne Angie dropping the word children after avoiding saying it in the last episode. Come on, girl. You're better than that. And then at the end of the episode, don't even get me fucking started on this. Rick grew up on a farm in like the 80s, okay? Based on his age, right? And when the first season of Walking Dead, like when the timeline of this show really started, like the early 2010s or whatever, Rick grew up on a farm in like the 80s, maybe early 90s, and doesn't know how to drive a stick shift. This is the least believable thing in all of this universe ever. And plus, FYI, stick shift electric cars didn't even exist in concept until 2023. So that's
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that this dude who grew up on a farm, like when I was also a kid, like does not know how to drive a stick shift, because that's like it can be rough for sure. But how would you just assume that Michonne knows how to do it better than you? Because when was the last time we saw Michonne drive a stick shift? Oh, never. I'm not saying she doesn't know how, but like, absolutely, Rick, as a country farm boy from Georgia, should have more experience driving a stick shift than Michonne ever did.
Well, when you're homophobic, driving a stick shift could be an issue.
Oh my God. You're terrible. You're terrible. It has nothing to do with anything. Are we ready for episode 5 yet?
We are. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Becca, are you ready to become?
Sorry,
What?
I had to sneeze and it was very ugly.
That
Yes, I'm ready for episode 5.
Become. Like, dude, that's just a word. It doesn't even make sense. Become. Become what?
Yeah, especially since it makes no sense in the context of this episode either. Like, the last episode title was just words. It's a word. It's a word that could possibly make sense, but it doesn't in the context of the episode. So, favorite moments. No?
Tasteful Nudes. I thought that was a funny name. Also, pierogi walkers. I love pierogies so much.
That was a good joke. Although the guy was like, I lived in Philadelphia once. I was like, that's
pierogies.
That's how you make that joke.
Pierogies are more Pittsburgh. I don't actually. I don't know. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're probably like more prevalent in the Midwest than they are in a lot of other places, minus like big cities. But like, I lived in. He could have just said, "I'm from the Midwest." Like, why does I lived in Philadelphia for like a little bit of time? Like, whatever. Anyway, it was a good joke until they like what's the word I'm looking, or the term I'm looking for? They couched it with that.
Anyway, and then I said LOL by Jadis.
Yep, that's my favorite moment. Jesus fucking Christ. Finally, Jadis is gone. Praise. Like, praise. I did also like when Rick made a comment when they were in that little like shop in the I don't know, like a national park shop or whatever. It's like, the brave man, huh? And Michonne replies something like, more than ever, because it feels like maybe she, as a character / the writers obviously, is or are recognizing what is surely his PTSD and how him like fighting through it and making the decision to finally be with Michonne and go home is like, yeah, like you were always brave, but now you've been through some shit and you're extra brave.
Mhm.
And here comes my cat to join the conversation.
I had to kick Splendid out of the room because I don't know who it is, but somebody has your fire detectors beeping, and she has PTSD. Speaking of from that beeping, so I have had to kick her out of the room. Otherwise, she'll start like knocking shit over and having a panic attack.
It is not moi.
Fareed, check your fire detector or
Smoke
carbon
detector.
monoxide detector.
I don't wanna.
Right now. Worst moments.
Right this minute. Check it. Worst moments. I don't know, bro.
Nobody but me has any notes for this. Why? You guys
I gave up, Tara. I gave up.
I gave up writing too. I'm like, I don't want to write.
Okay, well, fine. My worst moments is again all the convenience. Again, it was bad enough in the previous episode, just because, or it was bad enough in the previous episode, but because they continued it in this one, I got like extra annoyed. Like Rick and Michonne help people. The people turn on them. They let them go.
Mhm.
Later, those same people are the one Jadis uses. And ha 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 ha, those people get killed and they turn and then they bite. Now there's a different noise. And they bite Jadis. It could be Marmalade. I don't know anymore. No, it's not. So those people get killed and they turn and they bite Jadis, which big sigh. Then Rick and Michonne know that Jadis's letter, or well, Rick knows that Jadis's letter about them could be like anywhere. Well, anywhere meaning like any one of the CRM like headquarter places. But of course, when she tells them where it is, it's the nearby one that they just like took a helicopter from. So also, this isn't a gripe or what the fuck moment, but like we have that scene with Gabriel or the scenes with Gabriel, right? And then Jadis doesn't show up because obviously she's dead. So this is clearly like a scene from the future. A scene from the future. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it's a scene from the future. So like when I first saw the A rock, the rock that had the A carved into it and it started panning out, I was like, okay, so that's from Gabriel, right? Like he carved the A rock. But then it's in the river, it's in like the eddy of the river that's right by the CRM headquarters in the Cascadia Mountains or whatever. It's like, why? It didn't I don't know. It's stupid. I don't know why it annoys me so much, but it does. Like I feel like it would have been nice for Gabriel to carve an A in a rock and like put it in a river, but there's literally absolutely no way that made it from Northern Virginia or wherever the fucking Commonwealth is on the East Coast to the Cascadia Mountains. So it's like, so I guess it's from Rick and Michonne. They did it, or it's just a coincidence. Like,
where are the Cascadian Mountains? New York?
No, they're in the West, I thought. Hold on. Now I have to look this up. No, yeah, it's West Coast. Yeah, Cascadians are I want to say Oregon and Washington.
Okay, so apparently they were at the Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah.
That's why I was so confused. Because I was like, I thought they were in New York. Why are there geysers in fucking New York? I was so confused.
Well, the Yellowstone thing also doesn't really make sense because the Cascade Mountains are in, like I was right, they're in Oregon and Washington. So Yellowstone is in like Wyoming, Montana. Like, okay. Fine. Marley, come on. My cat is just walking all over the place, so I'm gonna remove her.
All right, I need to turn off my camera for a second because I'm in horrible, awful pain. I just need to lay down for a bit, but I will be here. If I have to talk, I will turn on my mic.
Okay. Well, did you have any like gripes or what the fucks?
Yeah, the
Me?
only gripe.
Yeah, Becca, you had some gripes and what the fuck, so let's let you go first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Michelle was so wishy-washy. Like, she was suddenly like, "Oh yeah, I gotta get back to my kids. Fuck you, Rick." For I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. Like, screw you, Rick, for being all like, I don't know if I want to go back to my kids. Suddenly she's like, "Oh, we gotta protect the kids, or we gotta protect." And I was just like, "Oh my god, really? Suddenly you want to do all this stuff for the CRM? Like, not the CRM, the CRWXYZ PDQ. I don't know, whatever they're called." Like, she was like, I thought she was better than that. Like, she just wants to get back to her kids. And suddenly she's like, I'm burdened with glorious purpose. And then, like, I get it wanting to keep Alexandria safe, but she's suddenly like, oh, I have to go back and get this docket and this, whatever it's called. And
I mean, I get that she wants to get Jadis's paperwork because she wants to keep the CRM from finding out about them. For sure.
The dossier. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
the dossier. The
the
dossier.
dossier.
This is dossier of haters.
They should have just called it the burn book. And she just opened it and was like, and then it's just Jadis being like, Rick is the stanky. It's just a burn book.
Literally and figuratively.
This is just Rick is sus.
I think her hatred is more geared toward Michonne because she wants Rick.
Michonne is different.
Yeah.
I heard
Michonne is the worst.
I heard a rumor that the kids aren't even Michonne's, and it's just
The kids aren't even Rick's.
And then there's also
Judith isn't Michonne.
She's not Michonne's, right? So I'm like, the kids aren't even Michonne's. And then there's also a quote from Gabriel because why not?
Oh my god. Okay, so gripes and what the fuck moments for you.
Anne told me to meet me here every year, and that's why I meet her here every year. Just that. The Walking Dead Mean Girl edition. Wow.
Okay. All right. Okay. Other gripes and what the fuck moments from episode 5 for you. You gotta give me this.
Yeah, I was like, the calcified walkers, really?
Yeah.
They created a new type of walker, and I guess he just showed up once and then never popped up again. And I'm like, why? Why do that? And also, Gabriel, what the? Really, Gabriel?
Like
Really?
him meeting with Anne. Well, the thing is, like, he doesn't really know anything about what Anne did. Like,
but still, he be meeting her, and then they kissed.
She kissed
I'm like,
him.
but
And this
still,
was definitely post Rosita.
oh, he would have. Oh, he. I think he was okay with that kiss because he wanted the resources. I guess he was pimping himself out. I don't know. Right? He was like, yeah, sure, I'll kiss you if you give me the resources. It was weird. And then he handed Rick's wedding, and then he handed Rick's wedding ring to Jadis. Like, why? Convenience galore.
Technically Rick's wedding ring. It was a wedding ring he found that he was going to give to Rick. But yes, it was like, of course this needed.
Why? Why would you give it to Jadis? Give it to Aaron and tell him to find a man already. I don't know. Throw it at Daryl.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Fucking Eugene.
Anyone but Jadis?
He did have a thing for Anne. Anne, as he keeps calling her. So for me, it was like, in this episode, it was so hard to enjoy all of their good luck at the beginning when I just fucking knew it had to run out soon. And then of fucking course, it ran out mostly / entirely because of fucking Jadis. Like, okay, yep, expected that. Oh no, Fareed has frozen again.
Well,
Also,
I'm still listening. I don't know if you can hear me though.
I can barely hear you. You're very quiet.
Can you hear me now?
That's much better. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm listening.
So yeah, of course, all of their luck ran out mostly / entirely because of Jadis. Also, I like part of me hates saying this, but the corny relationship stuff was a bit much in this series, culminating in this whole like, let's get down on our knees together in the woods and pledge our lives to each other, as if they haven't already like been like, they never did anything like this before. I mean, we never saw them do it, but like, I don't know, like, I just feel like some of the corny relationship stuff could have been toned down. And I for sure will not deny Andrew Lincoln and Denai Guerrera's chemistry. I will not. To be honest, it's fire. But the whole half of this episode is a love letter to their chemistry thing. Just didn't do it for me. Like, and it wasn't just half of this episode, but it was a lot, like all the makeout sessions and like, and also it's like there's a part of me that's like, oh my god, I totally get it, right? Like they're making out because they haven't seen each other in a billion years and they can't do more things because they're being watched all the time, et cetera, but maybe it made me a bit uncomfortable because I don't know what Denai Guerrera's relationship situation is, if there is one, but like I know Andrew Lincoln is married and obviously they're actors, but it felt like they literally wrote an entire show so that they could just like fuck with each other fuck around with each other all the time. I can't hear you. You're so quiet.
Gosh darn it. Better. Fareed is back. We're having technical difficulties and intentional
He's not back.
scares.
He's not in oh, there he is.
He is here.
Yeah, we were having so many well, he wasn't for a second, but we were having so many but yeah, like I totally like I love their chemistry. I love the Richonne thing, but there's a part of me that's a little bit uncomfortable with like the two of them producing, and also Denai like wrote episode 3. Like I don't know, man. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of like it feels like angsty like YA shit a lot of the time.
Look,
okay.
It's just fan service, okay? It's just fan service.
It's just fan service. That's how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I am a big fan of Rick and Michonne and Richonne, and also of their chemistry, but also it's a bit much. It's a lot much.
I've seen weirder stuff. I wasn't made uncomfortable by it, but then again,
no, I don't want to say uncomfortable. It was just like it's too much at times. Like uncomfortable makes it seem like I'm like weirded out by like them making out or them having their really awkward but adorable makeup sex scene. I'm not. It's just, I don't know. It's a lot. It was a lot. And also a lot of content in this season. And yet again, I repeat, this could have been a 2-hour-ish made for TV movie. Anybody else have anything to say about episode 5?
Yeah.
no.
All right.
Really.
Okay,
So,
episode 6, the finale. The
here
last
we are.
time.
The last time for what? I'm sorry. Okay, favorite moments.
Okay, so my moment, it wasn't like a favorite thing, but I was actually glad that the reunion happened between Rick and the children. But I'm like, they could have dragged it out. Like, frankly speaking, they could have ended on a cliffhanger. Like Rick and Michonne are just flying into the sunset to like meet their kids, and they never meet their kids. So I'm actually glad that they asked those young actors to come back, and Rick actually got it. It wasn't just like a split-second reunion. He actually got to have a little conversation with Judith and RJ, right? So I was happy about it. I'm like, okay, this is what the fandom has been waiting for years. So thank you, I guess. But yeah, good. And also the
You're
world beyond,
welcome.
and also all of that world beyond connection. I'm like, oh, they remembered the world beyond exists. Okay, they remembered. We don't know where those sisters are, or that guy who had like that Triceratops spear, but okay, they're still around.
It's okay. Nobody cares.
And again, that entire CRM plan for people who have not watched World Beyond, and we know that people didn't watch it, right? What's
Yeah.
happening? What's happening when they're seeing Michonne look at the presentation and Rick being explained about what the kids are like the kids are gonna be extracted? I'm like, for a casual viewer, what's
Well,
going through their mind?
yeah, Dean didn't watch The World Beyond, and he was like, "The fuck? What is this Omaha thing?" And I was like, "I'll talk to you about it after we watch the episode."
And it's like people are like, "What's this Ohana thing?" And I'm like, "It's not Ohana, it's Omaha."
Oh my god.
It's not Ohana. It could have been Ohana at this point. You know what?
Becca, what about
His
you?
family.
I have appeared.
Yes, you exist as a person.
I do exist as a person. This is just.
Okay, but
I'm looking.
so
You said what? What are we looking at again?
just favorite moments. Yours just says
The ending. The ending. That the fact that they finally got back to each other, and they didn't drag it out. So. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Same.
pretty much it, honestly. Like I'm just glad that they came back together.
Yeah, I'm also glad that it had this nicely like wrapped up, seemingly clean ending. I even got a little bit emotional, a little bit. Not as emotional as Dean, though. And my other friend, the one who we talked about again, like I mentioned several times, like he was the one that I workshopped the funny titles with in the last episode. But he also said the ending like really got to him, and he's also a dad, as obviously is Dean. So like maybe it's a dad thing, or not like that. And I'm not saying like it's a weird or a bad thing, or maybe it's a parent thing, whatever. But I'm just wondering, like maybe it's a dad/parent thing. I will also say that using the walkers, the leader guy and the other soldier dude that Rick bashed his head in, like using them to blow up the payload, that was very clever. I'm here for it. Like, oh, we know they're just gonna do the thing, so let's just use them to do the thing. Apparently none of us had worst moments according to our notes. You're muted, Fareed. Still.
I mean, if I were to choose a worst woman, it's like, what's her name? Torn? That other woman? I'm like, what? Why did she exist? Why was she part of the story? Like, what's happening here? She didn't need to exist, in my opinion. She was just there.
Yeah. For me, I think the worst moment, and I guess it's worst moments plural, is Rick being in that elevator with that guy. And it's like the slowest elevator in existence. And also usually freight elevators aren't quite that slow. And Rick is just like watching the blood drip out from beneath, and it's like, stop trying to make drama happen. Show. That's my worst moments. That the whole elevator thing, I was like, can we stop? Or maybe like Michonne tearing Jadis's apartment or rooms apart looking for this thing. And I could have sworn Jadis like told her kind of where she'd find it. And then like in the end, she finds it in the butt of the cat statue. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And Dean was like, what? And I was like, Michonne has a cat statue thing. And he's like, what? I was like, I know it's been a long time, but like the episode Clear was, what was that, season 3? Was Clear season 3 or season 4? I can't remember, where Michonne and Rick and Carl go to that town that Morgan
I remember.
happens to be holed up in to get guns, and they go, Carl and Michonne go, or Carl goes into the bar claiming he's looking for one thing, but really he wants the picture of him and his mom and his dad, understandably so, but also being a dumb kid. And Michonne walks out with like the ugly cat statue. But then she also, when they go to, she loses that cat statue when they leave the prison, I think. And when they go to Jadis's like trash heap at some point, she also takes like a cat statue. And it's like, I am here. Like that actually is like a love moment for me. I am here for that continuity. But how the fuck would Jadis know?
Jadis knows, right? That's why Jadis is like, Michonne likes cats. I like cats.
I don't even know that Michonne likes cats. She just liked ugly cat statues.
She's like, toss my salad, Rick. We're the same person.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna break your legs.
Oh my God. Okay.
That skanky cat loving hoe.
Did you just say a skanky cat loving hoe?
Yeah, he's writing it in the burn book.
Oh,
Jadis's burn book.
I'm writing it in Jadis's burn book.
Oh my God. Would Jadis's, instead of being pink, Jadis's burn book would be like covered in human skin.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a Necromonicon from the Evil Dead.
Oh my God.
From the Evil Dead movies.
Fuck. Okay,
That's it. That's the reason that we have zombies now.
Yeah.
It was because of that book. Everything's coming full circle.
Oh my God. Other gripes and what the fuck moments.
I have one.
Okay.
Where's Rick's friend? The plumber friend?
I was wondering that too. Where did the plumber guy go? Is he just gone? He was cool. I liked him.
I'm like, where he go? Where is he? We got this new artist friend, probably like who basically Rick shared a lot of information with.
I wouldn't call that guy a friend. I would call that guy like an artist that Rick paid,
like a friend.
And an acquaintance at best. But like the plumber guy, they were like sitting outside the fucking city, like, and the guy's
Where
like,
is
"Yeah,
he?
I'm going in. I got friends here now." Like,
where was he?
in there.
I was actually like waiting for him to show up or something, like bump into Michonne or something.
Nope. That would have made more fucking sense than the artist guy who can't even draw Michonne.
Okay. Do you reckon that on one of the cell phones he actually drew someone, like someone walked up to him and they were like, draw me like one of your French girls? And it's like just a very bad drawing of them in landscape. Like
Becca's just ignoring us. Okay.
no, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just ignoring the dumb shit that's coming out of your mouth.
Okay. My other gripes and what the fuck moments for this last episode. Really, they dragged this out for 6 episodes to have. And listen, I loved the fact that they wrapped it up cleanly in the end, but also I have to complain about the fact that they dragged this shit out for 6 episodes to have everything wrap up in a perfect little package at the end of episode 6. Again, I say this could have been a 2-ish hour made for TV movie. And I also just briefly want to harken back to Michonne in episode 4 when they were in the apartment. So yeah. Sorry, my mic just, you guys can hear me okay, right? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, my mic just did a weird thing. I just want to harken back also to Michonne telling Rick in episode 4 that RJ looks like him. And she's like, it's hard to tell I had anything to do with it, like other than his light brown skin. Now that we've seen him again, well, what? This child looks nothing like either one of them, to be completely honest. Like, where did this kid come from? And also, Judith got so. This isn't a gripe or anything. This is like, oh my god, the little girl who played Judith got so tall. I mean, so did RJ, but also like, we saw so much more of Judith, and she got so tall. She's a cute kid. She's a cute kid.
Yeah, that's it. It was like neatly packaged as if they wrote the ending before the rest of the episodes. Like they knew what the ending was gonna be, and then they padded it out. They dragged the entire thing out.
And there's not like a problem with that. It's just like my issue with it is like, well, actually, I'll go into this and let's go into theories. I assume, do you have theories, Fareed?
The only theory I had was like the one that I shared during the beginning of the webcast, that if they end up doing a season 2, then that's gonna be kind of like a reunion season.
So
That
again,
was it.
just The Walking Dead.
It's just The Walking Dead.
Yeah, not a theory here, but I just wanted to say that, well, first of all, this is not a theory. This is just me throwing something in before I forget about it. The theme music / opening for this show really grew on me. Like the Walking Dead theme music really, and the opening scenes and how it changed, not a ton, but like it changed a little bit throughout all the seasons. Like I always loved that. Like that music is fucking iconic, no matter what anybody says about it. But the theme music for this show, I do not remember anything about Fear. I don't remember anything about World Beyond. I don't remember anything about Dead City, Daryl, fuck. Is that all of them? Did I name all of them? Christ, there's been so many I can't even remember. But like, I don't remember anything about their themes. But for this one, they actually had like a real like theme song and like like images, you know, and that really, really grew on me. So this is not a theory. This is just me like wanting to say that I really grew to like. I never skipped it. I really liked just listening to it and watching it. But anyway, I did think there was talk of there being more than one season of this show, which to me made no sense because they wrapped it up so neatly. But then I suppose if you're going to make like a reunion thing, it would make the most sense for it to be The Ones Who Live as a reunion for Dead City and whatever the fuck, the Daryl Dixon Carol show. Like that sounds, I'm sorry, but it sounds like a fucking 80s like variety show. Daryl and Carol. You're gonna give you all your motorcycles and crossbows and Messiah children. So anyway.
Yeah.
Recommendations.
Hold on a second. I'm actually gonna sit up for this.
My recommendation is the new X-Men 97 animated TV show that's going on over at Disney Plus. It's good. I was a bit apprehensive at first because we grew up with the 92 animated series, right? I was like, is it gonna be good? Are they gonna change a whole lot? But no, it's good.
Yeah, that's why I haven't watched it yet, because I was kind of
like so good. But yeah, watch it. We're 4 episodes in, 6 more left. Go watch it.
All right, what about you, Becca?
I know we talked about this last time, but Resident Alien's really good.
Hey, listen, I talked about it last time. You hadn't started it yet, so now this is your own recommendation.
No, I had
you had
started it. Yeah, I had started it. I just had not gotten very much into it. I was like 3 episodes in. But yeah, Resident Alien. Also, the 3rd season of Is It Cake dropped, and it is so good. As always, though. But I love that show. It always comes out whenever I need it most. So
I have like run out of things to watch, and
you should watch K-drama.
I mean, I will. I can recommend a book series, sort of. It is a very like specific book series. So I started reading this book series. It was a book I got for Christmas. The first one. It's a trilogy, and I don't know what if the trilogy has a name, but the first book is called Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky, and the second one is Children of Ruin. I don't have the third book yet, and I'm like 80 pages from the end of the second book. But if you have no problem reading about spiders or octopuses, the plural of octopus is actually octopuses, not octopi, which
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, for real. I thought so too. But it is also like you have to be okay with reading about spiders to read the first book, which I know like leaves out a lot of people, I'm sure, but it's a weirdly like I had to get about halfway through the first book before I was like super invested, but then I could not put it down. And the second book, I've been like, I wish I had more time to read. But it's like very like it's sci-fi, it's future sci-fi, but it also has like a lot of like evolutionary basis, and it's not for I will say it's not for everybody, but I am like fucking obsessed with it right now. Like I don't think I would ever talk about it on a webcast, like my lit webcast that I do. Like this is not a book series I would talk about on there, but it's like I can't put it down. Like I'm going to force myself to read another book before I get the third book, just because I know like once I finish it I'm gonna be like and it's weird, but I don't know. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but if you're okay with reading about spiders, it is a very like scientific sci-fi story. So I would suggest that. Activities and conventions. Anybody?
Okay, so I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. No promises, people, but I might attend Calgary Fan Expo. That's happening. When's it happening? From April 25th to April 28th. It's like a 4-day event, but I feel that I'll only attend it one day. I'll probably end up going Friday, and I'm not going as press because I want to walk around and basically see stuff, talk to people or whatnot, because it's like my first time attending such an expo. So yeah, that's it. And as far as because at first I was like, maybe I should go as press because there are a lot of talented people coming over. But then I was like, if I really, really want to talk to some of these people, I can just shoot them a DM or something or an email to interview them, right? For the Geekery. So I don't want to sit down on a panel and pay $80 for an autograph or whatnot.
Is that that's a fan expo con?
Yeah, it's Calgary Fan Expo, and Daredevil, the actor who plays Daredevil, he comes here like every year because he's Canadian. But he can't come over this year because of course he's shooting the new Daredevil show, right? But also just for the messy drama, I hope I bump into her. Gina Carano's coming.
I almost spit out my drink.
Gina Carano's coming, and she's been talking about Disney taking her bag away, and I would have been like, I just want to mess with her a bit, but okay. Because I remember when she got let go from Star
Mhm.
Wars. She was like so happy. She was like, I don't need the mouse. I can make my own way and blah 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 blah. And now she's
Girl,
like,
you can't act.
hire me back, hire me back, hire me back. But yeah, she's coming over. The voice actress for Storm from the X-Men animated series, she's coming over. A lot of people, a lot of Canadians. David Harbour is usually a regular, but because of the Stranger Things thing, he can't make it. But yeah,
Well, fun. What about
yeah,
you,
a lot of-
Becca? Becca is ignoring me. What about you? You're still muted.
Sorry. I have so much going on right now and I cannot focus. South Carolina Comic Con is this weekend. We actually have some pretty big guests coming. Unfortunately, I'm only able to make it on Sunday. And John Rhys Davies is there. He played Gimli in Lord of the Rings. Lou Diamond Phillips will be there. A few actors and actresses, like voice actors and actresses, will be there. Some I recognize, some I don't recognize. I'm planning on going one day on Sunday. That's it. But it's a small. I mean, it's not so small anymore.
No.
It's getting bigger. I missed it. I've missed it like 2 years in a row, so I wanted to try to get to go.
Yeah, my next thing is Black Hills Redemption, which is like I went to the Tombstone, Arizona version. It's a Red Dead Redemption event. So I went to the Tombstone one last year. This year I'm going to the South Dakota one, which I don't even want to talk about how much money I had to spend in plane tickets to get to the middle of nowhere, South Dakota. We're flying into Wyoming because it was like $150 less per person to fly into Wyoming, which it's like the closest airport to Deadwood, South Dakota is Rapid City, which is 45 minutes away. So I'm flying into Gillette, Wyoming, which is like an hour and 40 minutes away. So it's like an extra hour essentially. And I was like, I'm buying 2 plane tickets. That saves me $300. I'm doing that. So I'm really excited though. Like they keep announcing Tombstone Redemption last year was fucking amazing. And they keep announcing new guests, like some people who weren't even there last year. So I'm really excited about it. Like y'all know how much I love Red Dead Redemption. I will hopefully be going to Comic-Con, but we'll see if I get like the only way I'm going is if I get a panel, which I should, but that's always like a toss up. So, all right.
yeah. I guess that brings us to a close
Yeah.
until the Book of Carol. But yeah,
Yeah. I need to pull up the.
take it away, Becca. Take it
Even
away.
though I've said it so many times, I still.
Do you want me to say it?
No, I got it. I have to pull it up on my phone. I've got my phone. I've got my tablet. I've got my my
She's
my. Come on,
busy,
why you no
busy,
work?
busy.
I've got my boy on my tablet. Maybe it'll work. I don't know.
Oh,
I've got my boy on my phone.
busy, busy,
I got boys
busy.
everywhere. Okay. My phone's about to die. All right, this has been Bereka, Fareed, and Tara. This has been Becca, Tara, and Fareed bitching about stuff and things with the Bitching Dead. Thank you again for joining us. Please follow the Bitching Dead and the Geekery on Twitter. Also, we are on Blue Sky now. We are currently, and also Instagram. We are working on getting some more new content up right now. We're trying to breathe some life back into the old site.
Oh, and also Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a Patreon.
Is it just
Patreon?
patreon.com / the geekery?
The Geekery. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. For real, like please, if you are by some crazy chance listening to us complain about this show, please consider checking out our Patreon because with everything that's going on with like AI and stuff, we definitely need to breathe new life into our content and our website, and our Patreon is a huge part of that. So if you have $1 or $2, $3, $4, $5, $10 a month to spare and you can back us on Patreon, please do that.
Yep. And
And you'll get free stickers.
Yes, yeah.
We're creating unique fandom specific stickers. You'll get them.
And I'm back on my meme bullshit. But yeah, so support us. We are a free webcast. We run on donations from viewers like you. I think we have tiers that's like, we have like a $3 tier, I think. Something like that. Yes, maybe $5 tier. I don't know, something like that. Okay, yeah. But thanks for contributing and helping our host site, The Geeky Array. Bye.